government is literally paying you to buy an investment property right now. Today, we're going to share with you what that means. We're going to share with you why you should purchase an investment property in Nashville, Tennessee, specifically an Airbnb, why that's a great investment right now and a great decision. We're going to go into some of our horror stories, and we're going to lay out everything you need to know about purchasing an Airbnb right here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Right. We're going to do a deep dive into the numbers, the permit process, how things have changed over the years, what the process is now. There's a lot of information.
Yeah,
we want you to be prepared.
Yeah, we're going to nerd out and then stick around to the end because we're going to showcase a specific property, a brand new development that just opened here in Nashville, Tennessee that you can purchase, and we want to show you the numbers and what that looks like so you can make a better informed decision about buying in Nashville, Tennessee. So let's go dive into this. Let's go. All right, let's dive into this. Before we do, we want to let you know who we are. I'm Scott Hardesty.
And I'm Erin Gillespie.
And we are your Nashville real estate consultants. And we are definitely your realtors when it comes to purchasing Airbnbs right here in Nashville.
We have been there, done that, and continue to do so.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't know the ins and outs and the regulations of purchasing here, and we do. We've been through it. We're going to share again. We're going to share some of our horror stories. But we are here to help you and guide you through this process. And we also have a free Nashville relocation guide. If you're actually moving here, download that and check that out. It gives you more information about the process of moving here. But let's dive into this. So first we want to talk about the reason why the big beautiful bill. Whatever your politics are, it's important to understand the tax incentives that are out there for you.
Right.
And
new in 2025.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Passed by President Trump.
Yeah. So right now, we're getting this video out at the end of December, but if you're buying cash, it's not too late to take advantage of the 2025 year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this would be your tax incentive when you're filing in 2026, but you have, just a few weeks window left in 2025 to take advantage of that for 2026.
Yeah.
So if you're a high earner and you're looking for a really big tax incentive that you can use right away, this is for you.
We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars to write completely off. 100% depreciation is what this entails. So let's dive into that just quickly. We're not going to go deep into these numbers because we're not tax advisors, and we obviously have people to help you in that situation. But let's just say, for example, if you're purchasing $1 million Airbnb in Nashville, you cannot depreciate the land assessment, right? So let's say the land assessment is $200,000. That still leaves you $800,000 that typically you depreciate over time, over 27 and a half years. And then there's a couple things in between that you can do, that you can write off 5, 7, and 15-year depreciations. What you can do now is you can write all of those things off in year one.
Right.
And so
100% of that depreciation in 1 year instead of spread across 27 and a half years.
Yeah.
In the future, you can still take other depreciation items. If you buy a new TV or a new couch, something like that, you can still depreciate those items. But you can take 100% depreciation for this calendar year.
Yeah, so you're looking at $1 million purchase price. Again, the land assessment will be different in each one, but you're looking at a couple $100,000 at least in writing off. So if you made $400,000, $500,000 this year, you could write off an easy $200,000, $300,000
exactly
based on the cost segregation. We have people for you to do the cost segregations. We have everyone lined up for you. So just let us know, reach out to us, book a call. We can dive into the strategy around this, but just know that the government is literally incentivizing you to buy investment properties right now. So take advantage of that. Instead of paying Uncle Sam, pay yourself, pay your future, and purchase an investment property. So, again, we're not going to go too deep into that, but just know that the big, beautiful bill is something to take advantage of. And now we want to get into why we think you should take advantage of that incentive in Nashville, Tennessee. Let's dive into
Nashville?
that. Yeah. All right, so we want to jump into why Nashville is the place to purchase an investment property.
Yeah, if you're looking across the country to make an investment purchase, I think Nashville wins because we're not just a vacation town. People come to Nashville for a variety of different reasons. It's really a year-round destination, and the reasons can be conventions, conferences, concerts, healthcare. We have great healthcare here. And then, of course, you do have that tourism aspect in those bachelorette parties and things like that. But on average, we get 17 million tourists annually.
Yeah, that's crazy. And we overtook Vegas for the bachelorette. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's good for us who live here, but
good and bad.
We'd say number one in bachelorette parties, and so that's a huge, for me personally, that was a when I was purchasing, I was always thinking, okay, where would a bachelorette party want to be? You know, what would they want?
Right,
What would they want? Yeah.
Yes,
So that's definitely still like a big piece of the business here in Nashville.
Right. And a big piece of it is that it's year round as well. So we don't really have a snow season or a hurricane season, and we have fast population and job growth. We also, our airport, I don't know if you knew this, but our airport is expected to double in size.
Yeah, I heard that. It's
they're
crazy.
planning that. I don't know when that's going to actually be breaking ground.
Yeah.
But that's in the works. But even as it is right now, we have flights that come in from everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
international
already
flights
huge.
now. Those are getting more and more.
Exactly.
New airlines are coming in. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then in addition, we have a pretty tight supply of short-term rental inventory and what you can buy.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that too.
We
Why it's
will,
harder and
yes.
harder to get Airbnbs and the strategy around that, the new strategy that we recommend that you have.
Yes.
Another thing too that, you know, with the tunnel, you know, Elon is starting the tunnel from the airport to downtown next week.
Yeah.
On the 15th is when they
It's
start.
been approved.
And
they're going for it.
yeah, I was looking at some of the numbers, and I mean, I think it's, you know, don't hold me to these numbers, but I think I saw somewhere like 30 to 40,000 people an hour can get through that
That's
tunnel.
insane.
And there's going to be several stops along the way. I
Wow.
thought it was just like one end to
One
end.
lane.
But there's going to be
there
like
and
some
back.
different stops
Wow. Okay. I
that.
didn't realize that.
Yeah, so you know, and you might not know this, but Nashville has
in the works.
Yeah, Nashville has a lot of limestone, which is why we don't have any train. We don't have that as an option until now. We have this, you know, these tunnels underground, which is going to be a
And this
huge
is going to go
deal.
from the airport to downtown.
Exactly.
Correct.
Exactly.
So
Several spots downtown.
That will play right into finding your location, which we'll talk about in a minute, but finding your location for your short-term investment or your short-term rental property investment is key. You know, being close to downtown, if people don't have to rent a car because they can take that tunnel and then, you know, just be downtown and your rental is in proximity to that, you're golden.
Exactly. Yeah. And like you said, like, you know, there's a little bit of seasonality in my experience. You know, December, January, probably a
Very
little slower,
slow.
but
Yep.
you have New Year's. So you jack the price up on New Year's.
Yes,
you know,
you do.
Make
Absolutely.
up for the probably the 2 slow months that I've experienced. And again, there's conferences and things that are going on during that time as well. But that would be the only seasonality I have. But we're not a beach town where it's like, you know, we're not down in, you know,
right, where
Panama
you only
City
have
where
3 months where
Exactly.
it's busy or
Yeah.
something. It really is very steady across the board.
Yeah, and you just get strategic about how you price it, you know, different different things like that. And that's, you know, again, we'll talk about property management companies and things like that who obviously already know about these things. But we just want you to know that in our experience, Nashville is a great place to purchase an Airbnb investment property. I don't see that going away anytime soon because we're just getting more and more growth, more and more restaurants, more and more activities to
Titan
do.
Stadium alone.
Yeah,
is gonna
brand
draw
new Titan
people
Stadium.
in.
Yeah, we have that. So and the convention center, all these things are being renovated.
Yes.
Where the Preds play, Bridgestone, it's getting renovated, billions of dollar renovations, and so it's just a great place to own. The other thing too about just purchasing here is that, you know, let's say if you do have to sell or you're doing a 1031 exchange, you need to move it somewhere else. The growth of this city just continues. I mean, we have, you know, Oracle is opening up their huge headquarters here.
Yes,
thousands
that River
of jobs.
North development.
River North.
People they're putting in billions of dollars in that River North neighborhood.
Yeah.
The investment that is going into Nashville as an entire city is enormous.
It is, yeah. So it's a good place to own. You have job growth. You have the healthcare industry as a place to provide jobs for people moving here is also strong. So you know, if you do need to sell that your investment down the road, you should be able to make some money off of it too. So not only are you making monthly income and passive cash flow, but you'll be able to sell
the
for
equity in the property itself.
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to get into the market data, some of our horror stories of owning Airbnbs, and again, stick around to the end because we're going to showcase a beautiful new development.
Yes.
You're going to want to see it, and then we're going to dive into the numbers of that and what that would look like to own that specific property. But let's dive into the market data.
Yeah. So this is just kind of a broad picture overall. The market has changed a lot over the last 3 years, and this goes hand in hand with some of the rules and regulations that have changed. But in the last 3 years, we've seen a surge of supply in new short-term rentals, not with 900 new rentals being introduced into the market in the last year alone.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But you have to compare that with the older permits that are out there are kind of being phased out more and more. So these are taking its place. So it's not that the market has too many all of a sudden. It's that these are taking its place, and this is a more streamlined way of doing things.
Yeah, and those are
also 4-bedroom units are have seen the highest growth. They're the
Yeah.
most popular right now.
Yeah.
Because the number of bedrooms you have dictates how many people are allowed to stay each night in that unit.
Yeah. So let's see if
So
I remember this. Number of
for 4
bedrooms,
bedrooms.
times 2
Yep.
plus 4.
Yep. You got it.
So yeah.
Yep.
So what's that? So you get 8 plus 4 is 12.
Yeah.
For a 4
So
bedroom.
for a 4-bedroom unit, you can sleep 12.
Yeah. So obviously 3 bedrooms you just go down 10, and then 2 bedroom and 1 bedroom you just keep going down. And so obviously it makes more economical sense for bachelorette parties if they can squeeze
Right.
12 people in.
Well, if you
It's
think of a
cheaper for them.
bachelor, they can split it 12 ways.
Yeah.
Or if you have 2 families that want to go on vacation together, you can split the cost in half and still have a very, very nice place to stay.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you can purchase 2 beside each other and advertise as say 24 for like a wedding
Right.
party or
you can
you know,
list it as one listing, even though it's 2 units. You can put it as one listing, so it can sleep 24.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's a good strategy too. But the strategy has changed, and we're going to tell you why, and we'll do it around our own personal experiences.
Right.
So my first Airbnb was in 2015, and it was a duplex that I owned. The back was paying for the entire thing, and so I was like, hey, I heard about Airbnb. I'm going to
Put it up
$3,000.
online,
That's like
right?
$3,000 to furnish this 2-bedroom little
Okay.
duplex. It was in East Nashville, Inglewood. It wasn't even that nice. The place was not that nice. But I was like, it's low risk, right?
Right.
Try this out.
Try it out.
And it
No
more than,
permits necessary, I'm assuming.
There were no
at that
permits. In 2015, I did not have to get a permit. I literally
Didn't
just
have to register
threw it
with the
up.
city, nothing. Just
Threw it up on
just
Airbnb.
post it on Airbnb,
Yeah.
see what happens.
And it more than doubled what I was making on the long term. And so I was
Yeah.
like, oh wow, there's really something to this. So that's when I dove into really
Buying
buying
multiple.
more, and it ended
Right.
up buying like 8, right? So at one time I had 8 Airbnbs going with different partners, right? People wanted to partner with me to do this.
Different
And we
investors,
got to
yep.
experience the change of what happened here in Nashville. Now all the regulation is done, which is good, but it makes it harder. We'll dive into this later, but
Right.
there's fewer now because of the regulations. But
Right. And so mine,
Yeah.
I only had one, but the one that I had was just a single family home. It was 10 minutes from downtown on an acre, quiet, nice neighborhood, but easy proximity to get down to Broadway and get to the restaurants and everything. You can't get that permit anymore.
No.
You can't have an Airbnb in a neighborhood anymore. It has to actually have specific zoning within the city to even qualify for a permit. So it gets rid of any gray area of like, oh, does this property, could I get a permit or would I be denied for a permit? It just takes all of that away.
Yeah.
It's zoned for it. They can't deny you a permit if it's zoned for that purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's just go ahead and dive into that. So,
Yeah.
Again, in 2015, you didn't have to have a permit.
Yeah.
And you could have any residential property as a non-owner occupied Airbnb. So you didn't have to live there. You could be out of state and own it and have someone manage it locally for you. And there were
Yeah.
no permits required. And then they moved it to, first of all, you had to get a permit. And then they moved it to, okay, no more non-owner occupied permits in residential areas. So if you're not living in it, then
So
you
I lucked
can't.
out. I got that permit and was grandfathered in,
Yeah.
which you were as well for some of yours.
So some of these are grandfathered in, but the problem is that if you sell it, the new owner loses the permit
and you can never
Yeah.
get a new one.
unless, and I didn't have this foresight, I wish I would have, but if you put that non-owner occupied permit into an LLC, then now you can sell, the LLC because there's
You're
no
selling
transfer of
a
ownership.
business.
Yeah, there's no
right?
transfer of ownership because the LLC still owns it. So the people who had that, the genius idea
foresight,
to do
yeah.
that, the foresight. Now because you'll see this now, you'll see that some properties can be sold with the transfer of an LLC. It's a whole nother process. It's a little more, it's different than just purchasing a traditional house, just so you know. So you went from non-owner occupied permits on residentially zoned properties, but you can still, to this day, you can have a owner occupied permit
Yes.
on a single family. So, but here's
It has to be your primary residence. But
Yeah.
if you travel a lot for work and you want to have a little income generated off your home while you're out of town, you
Yeah.
can rent it out and do that.
could be a good strategy. But here's something to know, and this is one of the horror stories that I ran into was it's around the horizontal. We call them
HPR.
horizontal property regimes.
Mhm.
This is something that is not in every city. Nashville has done a lot of it where they tear one house down and they build 2 houses.
Right.
And that's a way to get around the zoning. And so
And they're 2 separately owned dwellings, but they're on the same lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So technically, like
shared
technically
land,
they
kind
own
of.
the land together.
Right.
But once they're purchased, no one treats it like that.
No.
But if you want to do an owner occupied in one of those, you can't get a permit for it. And that was one of the horror stories that we experienced, where I was referred by someone who had just moved here from California. Their realtor didn't know what they were doing.
Not us.
Not
a
us.
different realtor.
Yeah,
Didn't
their
know
realtor.
what they were doing.
Purchased it and furnished it, put it on Airbnb, and then they got a cease and desist from the sheriff. The sheriff came out, put it on the door, and said, "You cannot operate this as a short-term rental." And she lost a lot of money. Had to sell it. Sold it to someone who's doing a long-term rental. So it's really important to understand the regulations here in Davidson County. The good thing is that they're all laid out now. There's no surprises.
Right.
Now. We went through the
all
mess
that
of
gray
it.
area is gone.
Yeah, so that's good. But so now here are your two options, three options, I guess. The one would be, like we said, purchase an LLC. The other one would be owner occupied, but it has to be single family, not an HPR, and you have to send letters out to the neighbors and notify them. There's a whole process around it.
Yep.
The best strategy, in our opinion, now is here's the loophole that builders have been doing, is to find commercially zoned property, and there's not the same regulations on commercially zoned properties as there are on the residential properties, and so that's the loophole. So what developers are doing is they're finding these old parking lots or old commercially zoned properties, and they're building these awesome Airbnb
entire
complexes.
developments.
A huge
So
development.
it's a whole complex that's all Airbnbs and all short-term rentals.
And that's what we're going to show you. We're
Great
going to show that
lines,
to
right?
you. Yeah. That's what so stick around. We're going to show you one that's going to be one of our favorites that just came out.
Right. So one thing I wanted to talk about is kind of that strategy change. I have a horror story about just disrupting the neighbors. People staying there and in my Airbnb setting off fireworks in the front yard at 2 a.m. And my neighbors were really upset. And I was getting texts and calls and had they complained and gone to Metro Nashville and filed a complaint, you only get 3 complaints until you're shut down.
Yep.
So and that's still true today. So if you went the route of purchasing an LLC in a neighborhood, you still run that risk of 3 complaints and you're out. And so that's one of the great things about these developments. You're surrounded by other tourists and other people from out of town who are wanting to make friends and are happy and, looking for those amenities.
Yeah.
Right? You had some properties way back when, as you said, that were not quite as nice.
Yeah. Well,
now it's a game changer.
Well, in 2015, you could purchase pretty much anything, throw it on Airbnb, and make money.
Right.
And that was kind of like, the way I like to describe it is kind of like a mom and pop shop, right? It's just like you throw it on, you're going to make money. Obviously you want to get good stars and good reviews and stuff. But now people are expecting a lot more, and you have to treat this like a real business now.
Right. And that goes into, that strategy of finding the right place. You want to focus on location, design, and offerings. Yeah. Offerings being what amenities are coming with it. Do you have a hot tub on the roof that overlooks the city?
Yeah.
Do you have a fire pit? Do you have access to a pool? Is it a gated community? Do you have murals that people can take selfies in front of and post on Instagram? I would say probably location being the first and foremost important.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing too. The prices have gone up with this with these commercially zoned properties.
Yes.
They've gone up, right?
Right.
We're
so
spending $300,000 for houses.
We're talking about expect probably to invest at least $1 million.
Yeah, I think so. To have a true business that's going to cash flow for you, it's going to be at that range. You might get lucky and find one less than that, but that's kind of where we're seeing the new.
That's
new
where to set the expectation in your head, I would say.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll give you the numbers of this development example, and you'll see we're going to do a walkthrough tour, and you'll see how meticulously they're designed, and they have themes to the entire residence and things like that.
Yeah, so just know that your competition is doing what we're going to show you, right? So if you're not doing this, just know that your numbers are probably going to be off. You're not going to get the occupancy rates that some of these who do the themes and who really go all out, who treat it like a business. So that's the whole point. Treat this like a business, and you will get the returns that we're going to show you here.
Yeah, and speaking of a business, you have the option once you purchase it, or I guess as you're setting things up, you can have a management company run it for you, or you can decide to run it yourself, or kind of do a hybrid and do 50-50.
Yeah.
A management company is going to make it very hands off for you. So they're going to take care of all of your marketing, making sure your pricing, your nightly rates are very competitive, your design, your cleaning, your turnovers. That's the biggest thing, getting them cleaned and turned over, getting any maintenance needs taken care of, all communication with guests 24/7. They're really full service. And those can range from, what would you say, 18 to 23%?
I've seen less. I've seen 13, as low as 13. But here's the thing too, they're not created equally. So just because they're a management company doesn't mean that they're going to treat your property the way that you would.
Right.
They might.
I've seen firsthand experience of that.
Same.
Yep.
Yeah. The bookings that they sometimes get might not be the people who you want.
Right.
I will say that you do, if you are out of state, you do have to have someone within
Local.
25 miles of the property on the permit who is saying that that person is managing it. So you do have to find that person, even if you do want to manage it yourself. So I was managing, those 8 properties I had a full-time assistant who was helping me, but in 2015 it was chaotic, right? You had to coordinate
you didn't really
the
have
cleaners,
systems in place,
not a whole lot of
well,
systems.
right?
Now there's all of these companies who have been created to help you. For example, there's one called Turno, and this is a cleaner company. So you can post your job, get 10 to 20 cleaners who will bid on it. You can try them out. And then once you find a cleaner or two, then you connect the app with Airbnb or VRBO,
with your calendar,
and it automatically syncs the calendars. And so it just takes the guesswork out of it. It takes that extra step. So if you do want to manage it yourself, if you are local, there are
tools
easier
to do that.
It's a lot easier. Yeah, but again, if you want to treat this like a real business, right, get one of these good management companies to do it for you, who understand the pricing and all these things to really maximize your profits.
Right. I also wanted to share how important setting your nightly rate is. And a management company has professional marketers that watch the market and know how to price it. But if you're doing it on your own, you have to be really careful not to overprice your nightly rate, because it will affect your overall revenue. So I have 3 examples. They're all 4-bedroom units. They're all very similar in style. But the first one, their average nightly rate was $569, and therefore they had an occupancy of 89% for the year. It's really good.
Really good.
And they ended up making $184,000 for that year. The next one was charging $638 per night, but their occupancy therefore was 64%, and they ended up making $145,000 for the year. The last one, and their occupancy was only 39%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just such a high number every night for people to want to pay. So they had less bookings, 39% occupancy, and they made $125,000 for the year.
So the strategy matters.
So the strategy matters, and getting that price right matters. And also, paying attention to when events are happening, right?
Yeah.
So like Bonnaroo, let's say, is coming to town, or there's a big concert. You can jack up the price a little bit.
New Year's Eve, CMA.
Exactly.
It's just like hotels jack the prices up, or
exactly.
they
And so
the
they actually fluctuate all the time, but you need to get it right still, so you get those occupancy numbers high enough to really see that return. And that's where I think management companies are so key for spending the time and the research to do that. Yeah. I did it myself for many, many years on my Airbnb, and I was fine with it, but I didn't mind putting in the extra time for that.
Yeah. So I'll say another strategy is what we did was we did a 3-night minimum, because you want to have the weekend. Again,
you don't want somebody to just book a Saturday night and then
miss
you
the
get
whole
nothing
weekend.
for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, so we do 3-night minimums, and then because again, it's usually bachelorette parties, Thursday to Sunday or Friday to Monday.
Yeah.
Once we got 2 weekends back to back, then we would drop the price in the middle, and we would change it to
like in the middle of the week.
In the middle of the week, But you don't want to do
change it to a 2-night minimum.
Change it to a 2-night minimum in the middle of the week. But also, you want to keep the price the same until you get those weekends, because you don't want to get somebody going Tuesday to Friday or Wednesday to Friday, and you get like the $50 a night, and then you only get one of the weekend prices, and you miss the whole weekend. So there's definitely things.
I don't think $50 a night is a thing anymore.
It's not a thing.
I think that you're quoting from way back in the beginning.
2015,
But I know what you're saying.
Right, yeah.
And that's kind of a game that you learn very quickly, as if you're managing it yourself and you're seeing those bookings happen, and you're like, "Oh, okay, note to self, I should have done it differently this way."
But
you
there's
learn
a
very
lot.
quickly.
There's a lot that goes into this, so it's not
Yes.
just like a long-term rental where it's a lot easier. There's so much, and the wear and tear too is different, right? We have
It is.
suitcases
Yes.
going up the stairs, so we paint our hallways like every month almost, right? So like there's a lot. There's more wear and tear. So if you are going to do it yourself, we're sharing this with you because we want you to have a realistic idea of what it's like and why property management companies charge more, because a long-term rental company probably charges 8 to 10%, whereas this, it's literally like having a hotel open 24 hours.
Right.
So it's very different and very more hands-on, and so that's just what to expect. But the return can be greater.
Yeah. So I'm excited to dive into this actual development that we just visited.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. This is
called
a beautiful one.
Allura.
All right, so should we dive into this beautiful property we just toured?
Yes. So this development is brand new construction. It's in Germantown and about 1.5 miles from the downtown Broadway area, but views of downtown easily beautiful. They are your 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath units, so the most popular. It's gated. So the community is gated. Each unit comes with, 2 parking spaces that are covered. It's more of a boutique living experience. It's not a huge hotel feeling development. And each unit comes fully furnished. A lot of them have themes and murals, and you'll see as we're walking through. It's just incredible. And this is phase 1. Phase 2 is going to have the pool, the outdoor activities, and a fitness center.
And I just want to throw in too, just to remind you, so again, 4 bedrooms, you can get the max amount of people, which is 12, and then 4.5 baths is huge, right? Think about a bachelorette party, getting ready to go out to Broadway or whatever. So having all the bathrooms, these are things that guests are going to be thinking about. So for your strategy, are you, should you get a 3-bedroom versus a 4-bedroom? Again, obviously you have to do the numbers on it, but our recommendation would be if you can get the 4-bedroom, 4-bath, that's the way to go. And so that's why we like this. Another reason why we like this development.
Right, exactly. Also, what's important with this development is right now they're offering a $100,000 startup incentive. Or with your contract, they will just give you $100,000 to start up your business. And it comes fully furnished. So how easily it can just be really turnkey and book right away. And they've actually already started booking these properties. They have been active on Airbnb and already started to perform. So there's already bookings in the works for a lot of these.
So they have reviews.
They have reviews. They are under management already, so you could just transfer that amazing management company. For this property, they're charging 18%, which is amazing. You can purchase multiple units, as we mentioned, and have it on one listing, one management company, bookings already in the works, fully furnished already, and they'll give you $100,000 to put into that business account to start up. It's very easy. They have just lined it up very, very easily. And if you do it in 2025, you get all those tax incentives that we talked about.
A couple weeks. You only got a couple weeks when you watch this video.
But you can still do it in 2026 and get those tax incentives. You just wouldn't see them until 2027, of course.
And you could do, if you're doing a 1031 exchange, you could do 2 units in this building and probably get them under that one move. Obviously, we're not accountants or whatever, but you could potentially wrap the 1031 exchange with a couple units if you needed to.
Exactly. So this particular unit is listed at 1.35. I, for certain reasons, think that there might be some negotiation room within there, in addition to that $100,000 incentive that they're offering.
And that saves you. And I don't know. Obviously, with the new section that's coming, I don't know if they'll all be furnished. The 2 that we're showing you today are furnished, but that cost. When we purchased, I never purchased one that was already furnished. We had to get somebody to go in and do all of that.
I mean, design is one of the main points. So the fact that they are professionally designed, I think, is a huge.
And you have to go all the way down to silverware, coffee makers, like it's that towel sheets, like it's very detailed.
We even showed in the video how they have things labeled, like a sound machine is labeled in the closet on the shelf.
Yeah, exactly. So to have all this ready to go.
So turnkey.
And you're looking at $100,000, $200,000 to furnish it like the one that we're going to show you. These two, like you'll see. I mean, we can't wait to show these to you. But again, think about this one as your competition. If you don't purchase these, this is what your competition is doing. This is the kind of the new standard for Airbnbs in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, and you'll see us in 30 seconds probably. You'll see us. We're at the launch party for this development being launched into the market for sale. So they are just now available for purchase with all of these incentives. So huge opportunity, which is why we're doing this video for you.
Yeah, so comment below, let us know what you think about these. Let us know what you think about investing here, and let's go check these out.
Okay.
Ready? All right, let's go.
Welcome in.
All right, here we go to the Prohibition themed house.
Yes, I love that they do themes in all of these. You have the name right here.
Yes, perfect.
And then right here, right away, we have bedroom number 1.
This is wallpaper there. It's not real brick.
Yes.
Yeah, I love the design though. Yeah, that's cool.
I think having themes goes a long way for Airbnbs. People tend to love it. This is a coat closet here and out to the garage.
Yeah, which is nice if you're bringing a car in from out of town, right, for your guests to have.
These almost look like music notes.
Like music notes, yeah, that's cool.
You know, when you're talking Airbnb, you're talking tourists, so a lot of times they love the theme of Nashville and these different themed decor. Music note.
Exactly. Yeah, and let me get this bathroom real quick while I'm up at the top here. Look at all the pictures and everything. So all this is just ready to go, which is perfect. You don't have to furnish it. You don't have to do any management for this one. If you want to use their management company, you can.
Yes. Great kitchen space. These are brand new construction. This looks like a pantry, but it's locked.
Locks.
This is probably for the cleaners.
Right.
They supply of their supplies. So again, a good music theme. Got all these little microphones up on the shelf here.
Yeah, that's cool.
So just really fun details. Blackout curtains, I'm guessing in case somebody wanted to sleep on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of course, with an Airbnb or a short-term rental, the idea is to get as many people in sleeping in here as you possibly can.
Exactly.
So you get those bigger groups.
Yeah, and this one.
And they pay more.
Yeah, they pay more, and this one, and it's based on bedrooms, so the permit that you can get is based on the bedrooms. This one has 4, which is the max amount of bedrooms, and so you can get 12 people in a 4-bedroom. Legally with a permit.
Exactly.
Which again is more money.
You know, so it's more money for the investor in the investor's pocket. But again, if you think about the person who's renting it, if they can split it 12 ways,
exactly.
It's very affordable for them as well.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. See you at the top. Okay. Floor number 3.
Floor number 3, we have bedroom number 2.
Okay.
And
cool wallpaper.
This is the monkey room.
Don't monkey around in here.
Mm-hmm.
I love the artwork and everything. Everything's ready to go. This is, I mean, that piece, you know, in our Airbnbs, I mean, we spend easily $100,000 to furnish, you know, so you're saving that cost with these and the time it takes to do it.
Right.
So.
Tankless hot water heater, washer, dryer, laundry area.
So this floor really is just these 2 bedrooms and laundry.
And laundry, correct.
And more stairs,
There's
yeah.
a full bath here.
Okay, let me get this side real quick. has the wallpaper and everything.
There's
I love
a nice
it.
big closet around the corner there. And we have one more floor.
Oh, before I go, let me see, so you can see downtown from here. We'll see it, I'm sure we'll see it more on the top, but wanted you to see like even from these windows.
Oh yeah.
And it's just getting more, like it's getting more developed over here. You can see here, there's some, there's some wood piles and stuff. That's gonna be
something.
a new development, and you see the new developments over there. So this whole area is just gonna continue to appreciate and expand.
So we're in Germantown, which is just north of the state capitol.
Yeah.
Very close to downtown.
Yeah. All right, on to level 4. All right,
Okay,
level 4.
Top floor. We have the full bathroom, which is also a hallway bathroom.
Okay.
Very glam wallpaper.
Oh yeah.
Move-in ready. And then here we have the built-in bunk beds.
Okay. Yeah, and those are, you can fit 2 people on each one of those. It's not like
It
a
looks
single.
like maybe queen.
Yeah.
Actually, on each one. We have a closet here. There's even a label there for a sound machine.
Nice. Sound machine, fan.
Just those details are so important.
Got a TV there as well, which is nice.
Right, each bedroom has their own TV, which is really nice.
We got 2
Is this a
closets in
second
here.
Closet? Nope. And
Oh, that
it's
goes into the bathroom. Okay, perfect.
Yes. And then out here, we have a bonus room, another TV,
Oh, this is cool.
and a wet bar area.
Look at that chair couch. I love it. Yeah, but this is what people want when they're looking for an Airbnb, right? You want a cool place to go, to hang out. It's
Exactly.
when I started in 2015, like it was just easy. Like you could rent out anything, and now it's just
Right. Now
very
it's not
different.
the case.
Oh, this is cool.
So this view here, you can
Yeah,
really
that's-
see downtown. I can see the state capitol that I was just talking about, how we're very close to it. You can see it right there.
Yeah, this is really cool. I can show you the rest of the space here too. There's kind of the walkway. So this will be like a whole hangout. It'll be like a whole party scene, really,
Exactly.
for the people who are coming here for a bachelorette party or whatever.
Little games like ring toss and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those details go a long way when people are considering where to rent.
Exactly.
But
Love
it's
it.
something that a management company can take care of for you.
Yeah.
They can do all those details like the sound machine and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, this is really can be as passive as you want it, right? You have a management
Right.
company that takes care of bookings,
Right.
cleanings,
You can be
everything.
as involved or not involved as you want.
Right.
It's up to you.
Yeah, and so we can share with you the management fees and those kind of things, and then some of the returns that you can expect on a unit like this. We'll share that with you later in this video. But this is just gives you a good idea of what people are doing with Airbnbs and kind of the competition that you have. If you're buying something else, it's good to know if you put this one beside a different one that doesn't have all these bells and whistles of this one, you're gonna get fewer bookings and you're gonna have to charge less.
Right.
When you
One
have
thing
these.
right off the bat that this one does not have, that probably could have, a hot tub
Yeah.
out on the balcony.
Yeah, it'd be tight. It's like a smaller deck. Maybe get rid of
Right.
the cushion
But that
thing or
is
something.
that your competition might have. So it's
True.
something to consider.
True. Yeah. Cool. All right.
All right.
All
What did you
right.
think?
That was awesome. I mean, both of them. I love.
It was a fun party.
It was a
first of
fun
all.
party.
It
Yeah, we
was
got all
great.
the. We got all
Those
the
live
things.
reindeer.
Reindeer were there. Yeah, there was all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
but
it is cold out here in December, and it was cold there. Snow in the air and all
Yeah,
that.
it was fake snow,
fun.
but it was
well,
still.
but I just mean that's why it was the
Yeah,
theme.
exactly.
You know, sort of
Yeah.
a holiday theme. So
Yeah. But I
really
love
fun.
I love that they themed for these. So I don't know if you noticed, the first one that we looked at was a prohibition theme. So you had like gangsters on the walls, and you had like the furniture. Everything was tied into a theme.
Right.
And that's really important. Again, this is an experience for people coming here. So they want, again, that's the new standard, is to have a theme. And the second one was
Printers Alley,
which was really cool. Printers Alley, if you don't know, is a street on Broadway. It used to be the only place to go. Broadway used to be nothing.
Right.
It used to be like.
So music theme, printer,
Thinking about what that would cost to pay a
those
designer
murals alone,
to get the
murals painted on the walls.
Yeah.
Those murals alone are very, very expensive.
Yeah, and so the reason we wanted to showcase this, first of all, because it's a brand new development. They have things coming in with the pool and all the things that are coming.
Yeah,
and
it's easy. It's
just
turnkey.
easy.
It's easy. The
has
incentives are
reviews.
there. It has reviews. It's ready to go.
And it will probably, by the time you purchase it, it will have bookings already in place. So it's not like you have to start get new reviews. That was a hard thing for me, is like, I actually, I don't know if I should share this or not, but I paid people to book it one night. Like my friends would pay like $10 to book it for a night and give me a review. I did that to get it started.
Oh, that's when it was the Wild Wild West.
That was the Wild West. You could do that back
then.
then, but now you don't have to do that, because you can find one that already has bookings, already has the 5-star reviews, and you can jump right into these. So we hope this helps.
I have one last.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is very important. So for this, the projections for this particular development that we just showed you, they have the profit and cash flow at $105,000.
Yeah.
So that
Already
is
ready to go.
after your management fee, after paying your HOA and your utilities and every single expense you could imagine. They have 105. So that's about an 8% return just of cash flow coming in. And then you, of course, have to take into account the equity that you're building in the property itself. On
top of the big beautiful bill, where that with a
Right.
1.3 price, you're probably looking at
Right.
300,000 to 400,000. Whatever you made this year, you could subtract 300,000 to 400,000 off of that bill.
Right.
From purchasing something like this. It's just a crazy advantage. It's a crazy time to purchase. It's just a really smart investment move for the right people. So hopefully this helps. If you have questions about the process, obviously we know about all the developments coming in. So if you want to learn more about that, book a call with us.
Reach out to us. We can't wait to talk to you.
Yeah.
We talk to people and get calls every single week, and we love it.
Yeah,
We're here for you.
We work with several investors on these Airbnbs.
Yes,
before, and
exactly.
so we would love to help you. And I hope this helps. Again, download our free Nashville relocation guide if you're actually moving here, and if not, book a Zoom call with us. We'd love to meet you. We'll see you next time.
Okay. Bye.
Later.